Hi everyone, I'm Susu. Today I'm heading to China's border. It's not far from where I live. A 20-minute bike ride will take me straight to the China-Myanmar border gate. This road is the only main route leading to the port. Passing this customs building, you officially enter the border port area. Today, I'll take you deep into this borderland and show you the real side most tourists never get to see. The river ahead is the Ruili River, a natural boundary separating the two countries. On one side lies China, and on the other side lies Myanmar. Here at the port, even in broad daylight, the silence feels dreamlike and eerie. The wide roads stretch empty and desolate, with very few pedestrians and barely any traffic. The occasional passing vehicles are mostly self-driving tourists just passing through. Rows of well-arranged shops along the road are mostly closed, covered in dust and left idle. The large commercial plazas that were once packed with crowds and bustling around the clock now stand completely empty and neglected. The gas station is temporarily closed due to fuel shortage. Vast commercial blocks have turned into no man's lands, and the quiet decline of faded prosperity can be felt all over the town. There are no merchants or visitors here, and the elevators are shut down. I have no way to go upstairs for filming. These two golden buildings are undergoing renovations and look set to reopen after many years. But the other building was far less fortunate. Completed 30 years ago, it has never been put into use. Its main gate stays locked all year round. Even local residents have no idea why, making it quite a mystery. What's most heartbreaking is the once non-stop cross-border logistics center. This used to be the core passage for bulk cargo transportation between China and Myanmar. Heavy trucks streamed in day and night, supporting massive trade volumes and firmly sustaining the entire town's economy. Today, the logistics park is completely abandoned and desolate, with no sign of people. The former freight-only border gate has also been demolished, reportedly for upcoming reconstruction. Broken signboards and overgrown weeds cover the ground. The logistics park has completely become a no-man's land. After the decline of border trade, the Jade industry, the city's second pillar industry, also fell into full recession. During its heyday, nearly one-third of local residents made a living through jade processing, street vending, and cross-border trading, forming a thriving and complete industrial chain. Today, the huge jewelry trading center stands largely deserted. Most stalls are abandoned and covered in dust, with no trace of the bustling crowds selecting goods and negotiating prices. The few merchants who still hold on are idle all day, killing time by playing cards.
Hardly anyone is here.
business here has dried up. Some elderly folks even raise chickens and ducks right outside the market. Few can imagine that this now deserted border town was once the most prosperous gold rush hub across China's southwestern frontier. As China's unique inside the border, yet outside the customs border trade zone, it once served as the city's economic core and the busiest trade hub on the China-Myanmar border. At its peak, merchants poured in from all over the country, fueling booming cross-border trade and the Jade jewelry industry. Even an ordinary storefront could easily command an annual rent of over $10,000 USD. But everything came to an abrupt end in 2020. As border trade hubs were relocated, this small town, which relied entirely on cross-border trade and the jade industry, instantly lost its vitality. Merchants withdrew their investments, business owners switched careers, and investors pulled out. The flow of people, goods, and capital dried up rapidly. In just a few years, this once prosperous and valuable border city has been completely emptied, with reportedly over 100,000 people leaving the area. The real estate market bears the most authentic witness to this city's drastic ups and downs. Street-front shops that were once fiercely competed for are now completely vacant. Commercial and residential buildings, once worth millions, sit totally unsold. Newly built communities lie empty and desolate, overgrown with weeds, while multiple construction projects were left unfinished and abandoned for years. Even the resort villas in fairly accessible areas are available for free rent. I tried walking up. Some renovation tools are left on the ground, and the whole house is an unfinished shell. A house that originally cost $30,000 is now being rented out for free. What do you think the reason is? Yet still attract no takers. For investors who once speculated heavily and poured their savings into local properties, this land leaves nothing but total losses and regret. The once booming real estate bubble has completely burst. The town stays quiet and empty all the way. Tourists finally come into view as I approach the border gate. The streets are lined with vehicles licensed from other provinces, mostly self-driving travelers. There are also elderly tourists arriving by tour buses. Just across the gate lies Muse of Myanmar. Almost every visitor takes photos with the landmark. Foreign tourists are not allowed to cross the border. Only local residents with valid permits can exit the country, and they must return on the same day.
This is a border pass.
This is a 2019 border pass, valid for 1 year per renewal. It permits travel only to 3 places: Jigu, Muse, and Namkham. A stamp is required for each round trip. Crossing from China to Myanmar is free of charge, while returning to China from Myanmar costs USD 0.74. This stone marker marks the end of National Highway 320. The highway stretches 3,615 kilometers, all the way from Shanghai to Ruili. The stone tablet is inscribed with Tian Yadijiao. signifying this is China's border region.
It's so hot today.
The sweltering sun left my face flushed and parched. I quickly headed to a cold drink shop and bought a lemon black tea to cool down.
要一杯那个柠檬红茶80%。
A full cup bigger than my face costs just $1. It's utterly refreshing on such hot days. Right next to the border gate stands a duty-free shop. It doesn't have a wide selection of goods, and most tourists only come here to buy drinks. It holds little appeal for me. Many tourists stroll around the nearby duty-free shopping area. Road and shop signs are written in both Chinese and Burmese, highlighting unique border charm. Most goods in the commercial street are imported directly from Myanmar, ranging from Jade to local specialties. Yet buyers need to carefully tell authentic items apart from inferior ones. Plenty of Burmese vendors come to set up stalls in the morning and return home at dusk, traveling between the two countries all year round. The streets boast diverse goods. Various Southeast Asian snacks and rare personal care products can be easily found here. This pack of instant coffee costs the equivalent of $2.48, while it's $3.45 in urban areas. Standing here, I feel as if I were in Myanmar. The food street isn't crowded. Prices are steep near the scenic area, so most tour groups dine downtown instead. Behind it lies the long border fence. Looking across, we can see many Myanmar residents queuing up to enter China. They queue up to enter China every day, mostly to visit relatives or work. Many first-time arrivals apply for local phone cards nearby to seek jobs conveniently, and vehicles are provided to transport their luggage. Women are mainly engaged in service industries or garment manufacturing, while men take manual work. They can stay in China for up to 1 month. Their monthly salaries range from $200 to $300, slightly lower than local standards, but it is quite a decent income in Myanmar. Contrary to public impression, these Burmese workers can travel freely around the city and get along well with local residents. Not far away lies a small border checkpoint. Licensed private cars and motorcycles allow local border residents to pass for daily trade. Numerous Burmese citizens enter China daily to buy daily necessities, fruits and vegetables, then resell the goods back home for profit. They line up to complete formalities and return home after shopping in Ruili. Each person can only carry a limited amount of goods. In peak times, people had to queue 3 to 4 hours just to cross back. Many taxis are parked here waiting for passengers, yet barely getting any business. I'm tired after a day of sightseeing. I dropped by a hidden snack shop to eat beef meatballs. A bowl costs about $2. All meatballs are handmade by the owner. Paired with dipping sauce, they taste bouncy and chewy. That's all for today's border tour. Subscribe if you enjoy this video. Thank you everyone.